Before I get into my review, I would just like to say that if you did watch the 5,000 trailers, that you did get spoiled. I remember when they first released their trailer back in January, everyone was like, "Oh yes, finally, the movie comes out in 3 months, and we just now got to see what the movie is gonna be like." And then they released another movie, and then another movie, and then they were releasing movies every week. So if you were like me, which I'm not really one who watches trailers a lot, I'm doing this thing right now where I'm trying to avoid them as much as possible. But for this movie, I just had to watch the trailers. And I watched all 10,000 other trailers, and that kind of did get spoiled for me. But that's not to say that this movie is complete trash if you did. It just means that if you didn't watch the trailers, it's going to be even better. I also want to say that for these kind of movies, you kind of have to go into it with expectations. You know, every movie has its purpose. Some movies are made to scare you. Some movies are made to get you thinking about your life. This movie was just made for pure entertainment and joy. That's it. So I came into this movie shutting my brain off and just enjoying the spectacle. Now I'm gonna get into things that I liked about this movie and things I disliked, which are both pretty short list. I don't have much critique about it since I'm not really taking it that seriously. But what I did like the most was probably the CGI. It was phenomenal. The fight scenes, every scene with Godzilla and King Kong was just amazing. It's really incredible how far we've come as a society in terms of movie magic of what we can create and how lifelike it is. I mean, out of the four kaiju movies, the MonsterVerse movies, I would say this one has the best looking graphics. And the last movie with King Ghidorah, yeah, the fights were cool, but they were all shot in the dark, so it was hard to see what was going on. With this movie, most of the fights, well, the end fight, half of the end fight is shot in the dark, but you can still see everything because it's in the city, and everything's lit up. The first movie is fought during the day, which you can see, it just like the night scene where you can see everything. So the fights were fantastic. Uh, there was a lot more action too. Although the runtime being much shorter than the other movies, um, there was a lot of action. We got to see King Kong and Godzilla for a lot of the movie compared to the first Godzilla movie, where I think we only saw 7 or 11 minutes of Godzilla, which was whack in my opinion. I also like the pacing. Um, there was never a dull moment. Like there was never a moment where I was on my phone or just thinking about, okay, what's gonna happen next. It was always entertaining. Yeah, some of the look, I'm not even gonna talk about the human characters. It's a monster movie. Who cares about the humans? I like for real. Like why? What? And then that brings me into my next topic, which is what I disliked the most was the human involvement. There are so many times in this movie where the humans save King Kong. Like for example, in the first fight where Godzilla and King Kong were fighting on the water. Well, first of all, that fight was unfair in the first place because King Kong doesn't fight in the water. Anyway, they were fighting, and Godzilla actually got a hold of him, and he was dragging him down in the water, like with the intention of drowning him. I'm pretty sure. And so, what do the humans do? Well, I'm not mad that humans do this. I'm mad at the writers. They saved Godzilla. They saved King Kong's butt. I think they fired some missiles at Godzilla, which caused him to let go of King Kong, and then King Kong was able to swim away and escape. I'm just sitting there like, man, if the humans were not there, the movie would be over. And I think that happened a couple more times in the movie where King Kong was in trouble. Oh, this also happened in Hollow Earth where King Kong was fighting those bat lizard snake things. And then one of them wrapped their body around King Kong, and they were suffocating him. And what do the humans do? Come along, shoot some missiles at this thing, and then they let go of King Kong, and he survives. I'm like, bro, they're saving him too much. Take the humans out of the movie. We just want to see the monsters. That's it. It's that simple. But this movie didn't do that. Why I don't understand why the humans have to be involved in every single thing. Especially the last fight. Oh my god. Basically, the humans save the day, not the monsters. The humans do. So they're fighting Mechagodzilla, or Mechagodzilla is actually destroying Godzilla. Godzilla stands no chance. And then King Kong, the human. Oh yeah, by the way, the humans revive King Kong too. King Kong was about to die, the humans like give him like a this is like electricity thing. I don't know. And then King Kong resurrected. He went to go fight. And anyway, he's fighting Mechagodzilla while Godzilla is over there lying on the ground, about to die. And then the humans are like, we have to find the password to the system to shut down Mechagodzilla. Guess the password. Basically, the whole movie relies on them guessing what the password is to Mechagodzilla, to his software. I'm like, oh, what? That is, first of all, that's stupid. Second of all, it would be much better if we got to see King Kong and Godzilla fight and beat Mechagodzilla instead of them needing help from the humans. And then it turns out they didn't even need to guess the password. You know what saves the day? You know what's the thing that stops Mechagodzilla, that shuts down his system? A bottle of alcohol. I'm not kidding you. So they're guessing the password, and I guess whenever you guess too many times, it shuts down your email or whatever. That's what happened here. They guessed too many times incorrectly, so the whole thing just shut down. And then when the one kid was like, "Oh yeah, give me that alcohol," and then he just sprayed the alcohol all over the computer system, and it just shut down. And then next thing you know, Mechagodzilla, he's defenseless. So obviously King Kong and Godzilla take the opportunity, and they destroy him. I'm just sitting there like, why? Just that didn't make any. That's out of the whole movie. That's the thing I hated. I didn't hate, but that's the thing I disliked the most. It's so dumb. And keep the humans. I don't care about the humans. We don't care about the humans when we're watching these kind of movies. Just leave them out of it, please. Too much involvement. Anyway, the runtime I also think could have been longer. I think there's different parts where they could have expanded on. For example, in the very beginning where they show that King Kong is contained. How did they do that? Like, I would like to know how they did that. How they were able to, first of all, like disable this huge gigantic monkey, and then keep him in a contained area for who knows how long. Like, how did they go about doing that? I would like to know. There's also this other part where I think one character is talking about the ancient rivalry behind King Kong and Godzilla and their people. And like, hey, that's a perfect time for some flashbacks. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a few King Kong battling a few Godzillas, fighting. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think if they expanded on those two things, it definitely would have added at least 10 to 15 minutes to the movie, which would have crossed it over into the 2-hour mark. But really, those are the two things I mean, the runtime, it is what it is. I don't really dislike it. But the human involvement is what I really, really disliked. I just wish moving forward, if they do continue making MonsterVerse movies, I hope they keep the humans out. Now, the question that a lot of people have going into this movie is, who is going to win the fight? And I have to admit, I was on King Kong's side going into the movie. I really thought King Kong was going to win just because, he's smarter. But Godzilla ultimately won. Now, like I said earlier, the first fight did not count. It was not fair. They were fighting in water. Water is not King Kong's element. That's an advantage to Godzilla. So, I didn't count that. And the second fight, King Kong obviously won. And then the third fight, Godzilla basically killed King Kong. Like, let's be honest, he killed him. So, I mean, it is what it is. It makes sense because Godzilla is way more powerful than King Kong. I mean, he has that atomic breath, and that atomic breath alone beats everything that King Kong has. But I will say that without King Kong, Godzilla would also be dead. Because remember, Godzilla was getting the crap kicked out of him by Mechagodzilla. I mean, Godzilla looked like an old man when he was fighting the mecha. And that the mecha was about to kill him. You saw he opened his mouth, and then he was about to atomic breath down his throat. I hope that was not too sexual, but Godzilla was about to die. Mecha was about to kill him, and then King Kong came and saved the day. And without King Kong, Godzilla would be dead. So I'm okay with the reality of Godzilla beating King Kong, but King Kong saving the day. Because that's the truth, and that's what happened. Lastly, there is a question that or there's something that I was thinking about during the movie that I still don't know the answer to, and that's how did Godzilla know? First of all, how did Godzilla know where King Kong was when they were delivering him to Antarctica? Like, how did he know? Is Godzilla a literal god? Um, I want answers. Like, how did he know where King Kong was out of the in the whole world? How did he know? There's also this part when they were in Hollow Earth where they were extracting the samples or something, and then somehow Godzilla knew they were down there, so he shot his atomic breath and and all that stuff. How did he know they were down there? Like, is he connected to the world? Like, is he part of the Earth where he knows where everything is at all times? That's something I want to know about. How did he know all of that stuff? But despite that and despite the human involvement, the movie is pretty good. It's really good. It's not like, oh, it's okay compared to like the best movies ever, and no, it's trash. But for what it is, which is a monster movie for your pure entertainment, it's really good. Um, and I don't know if they're gonna continue doing MonsterVerse movies. I don't know how they're gonna do it since Ghidorah is dead. Ghidorah is dead, and they just got done with Godzilla versus King Kong. Like, what's next? Who's gonna be the next enemy? But I hope they do, and I hope they improve upon their mistakes. I guess my grading for this movie would be a solid 8 out of 10 for what it is, because it is very enjoyable. It's super entertaining. It's everything that we wanted as consumers. And the people who made this movie, they knew that this movie was self-aware. They knew what we wanted, which was monster fights. And a lot of the movie has King Kong or Godzilla on the screen. So to wrap it up, it's a very good movie. If you have a chance to check it out, do it. It's not very long.